right, that Moto show, number 45, Donnie.
Number 45.
Okay, Donnie's all smiles, and he probably shouldn't be, but he is. And he's not on too many drugs, right?
Nope.
Okay, so 12 days post-surgery, and this isn't just some little surgery, this is knee replacement. So knee replacement surgery is pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
It was scary when I have seen it, so I'm knock on wood, hopefully we'll never have to do that one.
Yeah.
So they are just hammering away, and you said the surgery was pretty quick.
Fast. They did it in an hour.
So we are 12 days.
12 days, yep.
Post-surgery. Mm-hmm. We did not anticipate doing this show. We figured we'd take a break for a while. But I called Donnie like a week ago. I texted you and I said, hey, would it give you a reason to live to to have motivation to get ready? He goes, I think I could do it.
Yeah.
I could do it. You could dig deep like Tomac with a broken foot.
Gotta dig deep, man.
Right. So dug deep and are here. So it's really cool. His son Riley helped set up for us. So
Yeah,
that was
he
cool.
did the majority of the setup for me. I kind of sat in this chair that I'm in.
And he's got ice on the leg right now.
Yeah, it's one of those Oser ice machines.
Yep.
Not trying to prop them up too much, but they do make CTI.
Yep.
Oser does. They own
So,
CTI.
I had ice on my elbow on the way here.
Yeah.
Still dealing with that. That's been 4 weeks yesterday.
It looks way better.
I still have fluid on it right here.
Yeah, but it still looks better. The golf ball isn't there as long.
So
Yeah.
silly. So I've been icing it and doing everything for the big trail trip. We're taking a big trail trip. I'm meeting up with Spencer,
Yep.
Jim, Matt, and then a couple guys from up there are going to meet us. Jeff and Christian are going to meet us. They're going to ride with us on Friday. So really cool. Up in the mountains, trail ride. Earliest trail ride we've ever done in the mountains.
There's a little, you got to be a little cautious. It could be more snow than you think.
No, we're staying. We're going to try to stay down. But yes,
low.
it's going to be our biggest problem is probably going to be deadfall. So Jim's got rigged up a saw. So we are going to be doing some trail clearing.
Yeah.
And helping out.
The truth is that once I knew that this surgery was having, I didn't want to talk about this trail trip anymore.
I've been sending photos of the weather's perfect. It's going to be like 40 in the mornings, and then it's like the highs are like 65.
Right.
It's just gorgeous.
It's such a beautiful area to ride up there.
So we're going to be riding that, and so that gives us something to look forward to. So anyway, I appreciate you, Donnie, and digging deep here for the team.
Yeah.
And so we can have a show. So before we get too far started in the show, I want you to remind you guys, you can send your questions in via email. Just email me for tech questions. Also, you can use our links for shopping. When you're going shopping on Rocky Mountain, use our link. It helps out a little bit. Just go to our website, Linktree, anywhere. Easy to find. Just click on that link before you go shopping. And then let's get into our show, Donnie. So show 45.
45.
Damon Bradshaw, white gear, right?
Damon Bradshaw, for sure.
Bradshaw.
Yeah.
Colt Nichols, we're going to get into Supercross, but what's cool about Colt Nichols is he was getting lapped, obviously, but he finished the same time as Ken Roczen.
You could tell he was following him.
So they rolled through there together. It was so cool at the end to have the two Suzukis there together. But so that was cool. So
who else was number 45?
45. There's been a few.
I can think of two guys I absolutely remember.
Okay.
Ivan Tedesco ran it for a while.
Okay.
And Travis Preston.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, so really cool 45. So let's get into Supercross talk, Downey. That was, I mean, we don't
even need to talk about tech, honestly. Let's just have a half hour, 40-minute show just talking about what happened.
Just a cry fest.
This a bro down cry fest.
We do live the Supercross thing, and there was I had a special skin in the game this year as far as the Rocky Mountain Fantasy.
Yeah.
So there was a contest for some other influencers and so forth, and I think I've won that. I need to look at the results, but they're supposed to come out today, Monday. They're supposed to come out.
Let's just hope that you didn't cut the track or anything, and you don't get docked.
Right. And then one of the coolest things before we get too much into the Supercross is Dean Wilson got 10th, and I'd picked him as my wild card.
Yeah.
And he came over this morning.
Did you tell him?
No, I didn't tell him beforehand.
No, today.
Today, I told him, yes, because he was up to 8th, he got back to 12th.
Yeah.
And I go, dude, it was so cool you got 10th, dude. He goes, why? Again, he goes, because he almost got 9th on the last lap.
Yeah.
And I go, dude, I'm glad you didn't.
And you told him the whole story.
Yeah.
And was he stoked for you?
Yeah. So he's stoked. So
nice.
So anyway, there's a big prize. I get a big prize in the Rocky Mountain thing with this influencer thing. So that's really cool. So I'm stoked on that. It was really cool. Rocky Mountain does this. One thing I like to remind people, if you're playing that Rocky Mountain Fantasy, is to stay on it so you don't lose your money. It only lasts 4 weeks, the money you win in your account. So it only stays 4 weeks. So make sure to go use it and use our link when you go there. But you can play this all outdoor too. They're going to have an outdoor season. So it's really cool. So that was cool thing.
You talked about it last year, and the same thing happened to me this year.
You forget some?
No. My picks get way good at the end.
At the end,
and
of the
I got some spot on ones here toward the end.
Yeah, it was fun, and I did pretty good. But in the grand scheme of things, I was still like 2000th place or whatever, right? Like I was way back.
Who cares about that?
But there's some dudes, and Jeff Emmy was. I don't know where he finished overall, but he was really high. He was in the top 2 or 3 just of the whole thing.
Wow.
A couple weeks ago.
Wow.
So we'll see where he was. But as far as Supercross goes, it's been an incredible season. I mean, so much about it. And what made it a good season, basically, the first thing is that Jet wasn't there.
Right.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Now one thing, they did a segment, and you saw him at Supercross. You see him limping. He's not pretending. He's limping. Did you see that part where he's walking?
Yeah, like he was walking up the ramp or something.
He's limping.
He did not look great.
No. Now, I think a limping Jet is still probably going to be pretty good. So I'm not.
An 80% Jet is still 100% better than everybody else.
Yeah, it could be pretty good.
Hey, it was funny because he did it, like he was in some of the pre-show stuff.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how bad his ankle still is.
Right.
And that was shocking because riders don't normally talk about their injuries.
Yeah, which foot is it? I didn't pay attention.
I don't know.
Shifting or break. But either way, it's going to be a great outdoor season. I'm sure we have some good people. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if Tomac's going to show up with that additional hip injury. I sure hope so.
Did you see who he crashed with?
63 hit him. Who was it?
Freddie Noren.
Is that who hit him?
Dude, I looked at it over and over again from every angle to know who I could blame.
Yeah. But the reality is, Tomac put himself back there.
You and I have discussed this before. You can't start mid or back pack and not expect incidences to happen.
You and I also have a gripe about that heat race. That second heat race had 4 of the top dudes, 2 guys fighting for the championship. I don't feel like they should have used some common sense and said, hey, Kenny and Hunter, the number 1 and 2 aren't going to be in the same heat in the last race of the year when they're down to the points.
I really think that let's say by race 9 or 10, they should go, okay, at race 10, we have a new rule.
Halfway through
that the top 4 guys
don't race each other.
Don't race each other. It needs to be odd even or whatever.
Yeah.
No matter how they qualify.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was, I saw that happening as a bummer anyway. So now as far as the last couple races with Denver and stuff, it was cool to see Tomac get back on the podium when he showed up at Denver. That was cool.
Yeah.
So I think everybody picked him top 5, right?
For sure.
If not top 3 at the last race. I thought for sure. And unfortunately, he crashed out. So that's a bummer.
Yeah.
And it looks like he hurt that hip. I could see him showing up at Paula, but we'll see.
I mean, it's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's 3 weeks, and he showed up in 2 after he did the last one.
Yeah.
Which, funny enough, it's the opposite hip now that he's hurt.
Oh no!
Yeah, so he's got both hips hurt.
Old man stuff.
Old man stuff. Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully this doesn't expedite.
All right. Well, but let's talk about the main point of this Supercross race we didn't talk about.
That we had 2 guys going down to the wire, and we haven't had that in years. I mean,
I don't ever remember 1 point separation.
No, but even if it's just, but whatever it is, even if it was a few points,
right?
Like the Ricky and James and
that
Chad,
was 6. That was 6 points,
and it was tight enough to where they had to do well and so forth. Most of the time, it's many years it's locked up the round before,
for sure,
right? So it's an anticlimactic deal. It's not that big a deal. So it was a great race.
When you say many years, literally the last 8 years or the last 10 years were almost always wrapped up before a McGrath era,
right?
And then when Ricky started winning, it was always wrapped up a round or 2 before.
So it was awesome to have 2 guys going. And if Tomac could have stayed healthy, he could have been in there at 3. There could have been 3 within a few points in there. So it was good but Roxon was able to knock off some wins at the end of the season. And then him winning is just a cool story. We all like Hunter. He's a good dude. He's so level-headed. And unfortunately, he didn't get it this year. And it could be one of the few chances that he has and Kenny has.
But he is 6 years younger than Kenny, so he has more chances. Now we know you can win up to 32 years old.
Yeah.
I believe that Tomac was the oldest previous Supercross winner at 29.
Yeah.
And now Kenny at 32 has to be the oldest winner, right?
For sure, I would think. Yeah.
We also have
Webb won last year, and he was over 30.
Yeah.
Last year, so I don't know what that. I'll have to look at that.
Right.
We're not big on stats.
Webb is younger,
but not a lot. He's over 30.
Now he's over 30, but last year I think he was 29.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, great season, great last race. Kenny had a terrible day qualifying. Qualifying were ninth or whatever in the daytime. Both sessions were not great. Then his heat race, He crashes.
He slid out.
Gets fifth. You're like, I thought there's no way he had a chance.
Yeah.
Hunter looked perfect. Good qualifying. Heat race was awesome. I thought for sure Hunter was gonna wax him.
Yeah.
And because he wasn't gonna have the gate pick, Roczen wasn't. So he gets the good jump. He's right out there, and he passes Hunter in the third turn. Just passes him straight and takes off. And I think Prado coming up on Hunter didn't help the mental state for Hunter. I think he was making some mistakes. We saw a couple mistakes before that. And then once once Prado got close, then he made those two big mistakes.
Hunter OJ'd a few things and came up short, like in those 2 laps after Prado got close to him, which I was surprised about because Hunter doesn't make those kind of mistakes.
No, so it really got to him. Now, so then Kenny wins the championship, but he did chase Sexton and wins the race, which I don't think very many people had picked, even though he's won apparently 4 years in a row.
This is his 4th year in a row.
That's incredible.
I didn't even know that.
Right. Because no one cares about the last race unless it's the winner. So Kenny just was able to let off and coast through. I was hoping he could really get the win of the race and win. It would have been cool. But anyway, it was rad.
I think what he did was more important.
Right. You just got to do it. So anyway.
And then Colt Nichol, like we already said, stayed behind him for a full lap. Just stayed there.
Oh, that's cool.
Did you see that? And then
I didn't realize
he could come over, teammate, over the finish line at the same time.
How many times have you watched it now?
Like 4.
I've only watched it twice.
I watched it 4. I watched it last night, like before I went to bed, like at 11. Just I wanted some good feelings to go to bed.
Yes, happy feelings. Yeah. So anyway, we're stoked for Roczen and for the HEP team, for Suzuki. It's great.
For Twisted.
We're going to get into that. One of the coolest things about this that I think the biggest thing is he's on basically a 10-year-old bike.
Yeah.
10-year-old advancement. And we hear all these guys talking about their setup and this and that, and they need whatever, right? Roczen just won on basically a 10-year-old bike. You guys can stop complaining, right?
I actually say something. I think he won on an 08 Honda.
Yeah.
Because that is that chassis.
Yeah.
They've basically been copying that 08 Honda as long as they could.
So it's a great thing what they've done, and they've been able to do it with outside help. Like you mentioned, Twisted. I just stopped by there and dropped the bike off, and they are obviously very happy.
Yeah. Was Jamie there?
No, he just had left. So
I
did leave over some homemade sourdough with homemade jam. Sarah made for them to have little victory championship bread. So we left something over there, to help celebrate. They're all obviously very happy. And I texted with Jamie. He had some cool pictures with him and his son with the bike and the trophy. And then Jamie did some on the podium with the team and with Kenny and all that.
Yeah, I saw him on the podium.
And so what people don't realize if they don't follow this Twisted winning this with mapping and engine work, there's no other shop that's done this on a 450 class or even a 250 two-stroke class, right?
Right.
It's always been the factory.
Big bike class.
HRC, Kawasaki, KHI does their own stuff, their own engine stuff. Yamaha always do their own engine stuff. And I guess Star winning, his Star won,
Yeah. Star won with Tomac and with Webb.
Yeah, so that would be the first time it's done. But those engines were all Star, right? But it wasn't a public company. I guess that'd be the difference, right?
Right.
A public company. So Star's running the factory effort. So I guess I didn't think about that. But still, Twisted doing this is huge. Been friends with Jamie a long time. He's a great guy. And if you need ECU work done for your own bikes, that's where to go.
It's a proven product.
Right. Does stock ECU maps and the vortexes. People ask me, can you get the same? It's like, no, not quite the same. You get pretty good with the stock remaps, depending upon the bike, but you definitely get more tunability and just better performance with the vortex that he does. So, and more features too. If you have a dual injector, you need it. If you want quick shift, you have to have it.
Did you hear this weed story that they said the motor he used had 6 more horsepower than the previous motor?
Than the week before,
or
something. I didn't see that yet. I saw that. I haven't watched that video of his wrap up.
Okay, so what he said was last year, Roczen needed more motor, and then Jamie had built this motor that had 6 more horsepower, but Kenny said it was too much. He was just blowing berms out and whatever, and they didn't use it last week.
In Denver, where it was slower.
And he said it was a big mistake.
I saw the interviews, and he said, I needed some more motor this week.
And then he said, next week, I'm running that high horsepower motor, and do not let me take it out. I'm using it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So I'll watch that.
That was a Weege is the one who came up with that.
Was that his after the race deal?
Yes.
His wrap up. I haven't watched it yet. I saw it's on my queue to watch, so I'll watch that. So anyway, so it's just the best Supercross season, and we're gonna head into outdoors with a bunch of dudes healthy.
Yeah.
I was talking to Wilson. He was talking about that, how there's a lot of guys, and he also talked about how there's gonna be a lot of team changes going on this off season. You know, it looks like Webb's probably going to ride for Tedder Racing. Looks like that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
And then Jay Coop's going to find himself in a good spot to go somewhere.
What about Mookie? We don't know where he's going.
Nope. And what's his and
Hampshire.
Sexton can maybe be leaving Kawasaki. That's a big strong rumor that he's not happy there. He wants on a different bike, which the only different bike is a Yamaha.
What do we think about him not liking this bike now?
Well, I just said it with the Roxon thing. Like, you can win on anything. I think, could Roxon win on that Kawasaki?
100%.
All right.
I think you could have given any bike to Roxon. He would have.
If
probably
he had a
won.
bunch of time and got it dialed, I think he'd be there. And I think he's concentrating on himself more than the bike. You know, the guy's a specimen as far as physical fitness and what he does to train. Have you seen some of his videos and stuff?
Yeah, he's incredible.
Incredible what he does. It's just like mine and our workouts.
Just like mine.
Just like ours. All right. So here we go. We'll move on. This show is brought to you by Wiseco, Dunlop, FMF, Cardo Systems, which we're going to use on our trail trip. Ventco has all the vintage dirt bike parts. Decal Works makes all my awesome graphics. Blaster Products, Arc Levers, Works Connection, ProX, Racetech, and remember you can sign up for the Racetech seminars this fall. I forgot to mention there's no bike behind you. We didn't want to add extra setup for Donnie, so we didn't put a bike back there. It's nice to usually have a bike back there.
Yeah, I missed that. Honestly, I was thinking about when I was making my son set up, but yeah, I was thinking about it.
So one of the things I'll mention real quick is look at this right here. This motocross action cover. I still like getting the cover of a magazine, even though, you know, a lot of people, you know, say magazines are dead. It's still kind of cool. I love it. And first motocross action cover that we got was, you know, almost 30 years ago, 28, 30 years ago, I don't know. And we've got a great story here on our 350 SXF. This is the bike that Spencer's been riding, who was in town last week. We couldn't line up for a show, and he rode that bike a couple days at Glen Helen, had a great time on it.
You know what a magazine is, right? It's just analog.
Yeah, no, like, you can't zoom in though. When I zoom in on
you need better glasses.
Right. They have a digital version though.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll eventually have glasses that will zoom in for you.
For you. When they see me squinting.
Right. They're going to go zzz and zoom in.
Yeah. All right. Tech questions. You got our tech questions ready?
Yeah.
Why don't you read the short ones? We'll keep it short. I think Joe's got the first one.
Joe Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hey, mate. How's things? Hope all is well. Quick question. I've got a 2002 CR125 that I have restored, and my question is it worth running full, it says race fuel like VP? It has electron carb, and the motor is stock, apart from a pro circuit pipe. Thanks, mate.
So he said, would it be worth it? And so I say, is it worth it to not blow up your bike?
Wow.
That's the problem, because it's basically a 25-year-old bike. These bikes were designed for fuel that was a whole lot better 25 years ago. So our fuel is very low octane. So what I would recommend is to run at least half and half with a C12 or a avgas. If you can get to an airport, you can do that. And he said, "Hey mate," so I don't know if he has better access to fuel in Oz.
Right.
But so that's what I would say. So it's not about like, is it worth it in the sense, is it going to be faster? It's going to be more durable, less likely to detonate. So if you're riding in mud or sand, that's when you can really get into detonation. If you're under heavy load, it doesn't matter how you jet it. If you jet it rich enough, you can't really jet it rich enough to not detonate, or it's going to just be, you know, running all over itself. So that's why I say, always try to run some type of added octane to it.
And how does it change with electron carb? I mean, like, give us what electron carb or those style will do for the bike.
Well, it just makes it easier to jet for a lot of guys.
That's it.
Yeah, and I do like the electron carbs, but I prefer them on the trail bikes where you're going up and down in elevation.
Yeah.
So that's where the difference is. On the motocross bikes, I don't know if it's as critical because you can make the stock carbs go pretty good on most bikes.
So if you have a two-stroke that's bone stock, it is worth still putting electron if you have to have a lot of jetting changes.
Yes, yeah. So for a lot of guys, it's easier. For us, though, when I say easier, one of the problems is, a couple problems, and I'll try to send you some pictures of the jet block gasket. That's on a 25-year-old carburetor, a Kian or Mikuni. That's a hidden gasket that doesn't even come in the carb kits. So if you get a kit from whoever, it doesn't have the jet block gasket. You need a special tool typically to take the carburetor apart. That gasket gets in there and it gets eaten away and robbed.
What's a typical cost of electron?
I think they're like $600.
Yeah.
I have to double check that, but somewhere in there. We could throw it on the screen right here. How about that?
Yeah. Well, I'm just curious because, I mean, these were things that, like 30 years ago, if you were to put some type of specialty carb on, they were usually very difficult and very temperamental to work with. Remember, anything custom like that.
So the way they do it is that you tell them all your specs and they come with it set up, and usually it's really close. Like you don't have to hardly move anything, and you move the needle, you adjust it by length, and that's what the only thing you adjust. There's no pilot jet to adjust or air screw. You're not adjusting any of that. So I say it really helps with trail guys, but with motocross guys, with the Pro Circuit jetting page or TMR has some really good jetting specs. If we run those, we're usually solid. You don't have much of a problem. So
is that Electron the one that has like the see-through bowl in it?
Yeah.
It is. Okay.
It does look kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to Ed S. He says, Jay, I'm a huge fan of your YouTube channel. That's the first smart thing he said. And I really enjoy your educational videos. Your channel has inspired me to buy my first trail bike at the age of 62.
Dude, you are putting people on the trail.
62 virgin trail rider. Okay, I have watched a lot of your videos on tire changes, which is something I plan on doing and maintaining. Here's my request. Can you do a video on tire changing using Mr. Wolf moose balls with 2 rim locks on the Rabbit Honda tire change? The thought of having a flat on my first adventure is not very appealing. Thanks for your time and keeping the videos coming. Okay.
So many requests, dude.
Yeah, pretty specific, right?
Very specific.
I go very specific.
Yeah.
So you want this and this. Okay, unfortunately, I don't just have stuff sitting around where I'm going to go and double rim locks.
Go back to your
and then
stockpile.
I'm going to go do all this for one guy who wants to see this. Now, as I inquired a little bit more of Ed, I found out that he's not going hard enduro. That I can't remember what bike he was on, but he's not doing anything gnarly. I'm like, dude, you're going to be fine with not with stock tubes, but with good heavy duty tubes. And we have links to those on our Google Doc that has all the links. Rocky Mountain has some good heavy duty tubes. We like the Dunlop, and then the Bridgestone ones, the type of rubber in those is really good. And so I would run those. And we run those with baby powder installed well. Everything is fine. So I think too many people, because there's so much stuff available, I hate to bag on any of the moose guys out there, but they are great for guys that are racing hard enduro and need low pressure on there, and they put 3 or 4 rim locks on those things, Donnie. It's gnarly. Okay. Or if you're going to Baja and you need to not have a flat, okay, that's fine. These other guys, Spencer and I ride a lot, decent amount of trail stuff. We have 1 flat every 2 to 3 years. That's max. One of the things I feel like is because there's so many different types of things, systems, tubeless, and different types of mooses all available, then everybody thinks that there's a huge flat problem. Well, I can tell you right now, the huge flat problem is overblown. What I feel like is guys have a bad experience with the stock tube. Stock tube in a brand new KTM from 2015 to now is a very thin tube. So that's one problem that happens. Guys get a bad taste. Guys don't check tire pressure before they go. So they head out and they got, 5 PSI in their tire. And so that right away they get a flat. So those are things to look at. So to consider like the reality, the time, hassle, and expense you're going to spend on running something else. Also, when you have mooses in, if he has those moose balls in, he can't just leave his bike on the kickstand in the garage for a month. It's going to have flat spots. He has to put it up on a stand. He's not going to like that. So it's a lot more work having mooses in. So, but I don't have a problem with mooses. Dunlop sells mooses, good ones, and there's good mooses out there. But you have to understand it's a lot of work to keep fresh mooses in there. They do wear out. Sometimes you have to change them before their tires worn out. So it's a lot of work.
I don't think I've ever ridden with a moose. Not once.
Yeah. And one of the worst things is I've hopped on other guys' bikes that have a smashed front moose. It's so terrible. You feel like you're riding on a fully flat tire. No control. It's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
So
what happens is those things heat up, right? They get hot.
So on our trail trip we're going on, I think maybe only 1 or 2 of the wheels will have a moose. The rest are all tubes, double tubed with a stock tube. We cut it. We have videos showing that.
Yep.
All powdered well. Also, we bring an extra wheel.
Right.
So we have, since there's a bunch of KTMs, we'll have 1 set of KTM wheels, 1 set of Honda wheels. I think we got a Beta and Yamaha going. We just bring extra wheels.
Right.
So we have extra wheels. They have good tires on them. We'll just bring those as backups, and we're good.
Yeah, and you have zip ties for the trail.
We have zip ties for the trail. So if anybody's seen that, we keep our pack full of a bunch of large zip ties to put on the tire. If we do get a flat, we can ride it out to the road and get back, and then go put another wheel on and get back to riding.
Go right back to it.
So now, because we're not riding like in Baja, that wouldn't be practical in Baja, where you got a chase truck, you got to get down to this area. You can't go backwards.
Yeah, there's certain situations, like you said, that the Moose makes sense.
Makes sense. So these other things that you have to put in a plug if you get a flat and all that, it's creating more hassle than work.
Yeah, just go back and tell him, just bring zip ties.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
Next one, Donnie.
All right, Aiden O. Hey, Jay, finally took apart my 1997 KTM 300 EXC. They had a 300 EXC?
Yeah, long time ago, yeah.
Okay. I want to take the swing arm and some other parts down to get a nice new finish look again. Do you know places in LA or the Inland Empire to take them to?
Okay, so first of all, I'm talking to people across the whole country. What you can do, there's a couple things you can do. When we do these swing arms for these project builds, I like to get them sandblasted or vapor blasted first. Okay, then I like to leave, so these older bikes, I like to leave that area, that look, that cast look, and then the outside that's been scratched, I'm sure that's what he wants to get rid of, those scratches, you take it to a polisher. In Lake Elsinore here, we have one called All-American or American Polishing.
I thought it was
All-American.
All-American?
Yeah, something like, no, I'm thinking the all because you're therapy guy. So American Polishing, something like that. And it's Geronimo's his name. If you email me, I could send you his info. And if you're in SoCal, he's in Lake Elsinore. And this guy I've known him I've been going over there for over 25 years, close to 30. And I was talking to him about it. His shop burned down a few years ago.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, it burned.
Too much dust?
Something caught fire. And anyway, it burned down. He got it back going. And he does a great job and polishes it all out. And then what I do is I get some Scotch-Brite like I did with the KX swing arm. And then I just Scotch-Brite that swing arm and it gives it this nice brushed look. And then I like to leave that cast look on the inside of the swing arm. Like where the linkage and shock would go. That's what I like to do. So pretty simple deal. Oh, and you can do, so if you're looking for a polisher.
It's USA metal polisher.
USA.
Yes.
Okay. And his name's Geronimo.
Geronimo.
Cool dude. So if you're in another part of the country, you're not close to us, it can be impractical to ship swing arms and everything. That's one of the downsides. So I would, you can look for anybody that does chrome bumpers on hot rods or anything. They have a guy that polishes in your town or whatever.
Yeah, because they have to polish before they
have to polish. So if you find an auto place that does bumpers, grills, that kind of thing for hot rods, that'd be a great place to see if they have a polisher around.
Does Geronimo have a fit after you've polished it when you come back with
he hates that and I've showed him some videos of it and he's like, oh no, he's like, oh man, that we scuff it up. So we don't leave it the polish look, we just brush it. It looks really cool with that brush look. That's what we did on your KX, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, Geronimo's a good dude. So that's what I would say to do on most of your older builds. You're going to do a swing arm. All right. Brian H. He says, I have a problem. Oh, he's a big fan of the podcast, first of all. So he's probably going to hear this. He's got a 2020 YZ 450 FX, cool bike. During a night ride, the bike was turned off momentarily, but seconds later, the bike will not start up again. The motor will turn over, but acts like the battery's dead. And it makes a battery noise because the battery's dead. That's why. Also, I should mention that this has happened at night twice. The first time it happened, I replaced the battery because I thought it was just an old battery. Also, he should be putting a meter on this thing when you hit the button. And we also made a cool, Jim helped me make up a draw gauge, just very simple. You put your meter on and say it's running at 13 volts. So your battery has 13 volts and you hit the starter button, it shouldn't drop a bunch, right? But you shouldn't see a draw. Then he had this small light bulb and we put it on, it shouldn't drop the battery. And the other day, we pulled it out of one of my buddy's bikes, hooked up the light to it, this little bulb, boom, it dropped to 6. So the battery's trash. It's no good. Even though it was at 12.
Dead cell.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
It's not going to come back. Okay. I think the problem comes from the aftermarket Baja Designs light because the problem only happens at night when the light is on. The BD light was supposed to be a low-powered model that doesn't draw too much power off the YZ stator. Do you have any experience with BD lights draining the battery, or do you think there's something else we missed? Which BD model do you use on your 450s? We use the XL80 Pros or those little S1 little lights we just put on the 450X. Here's the problem. The bike has to have a stator. That is a motocross bike. And that goes about all the motocross bikes the last 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, they don't charge the battery.
They don't charge the battery. So an FX is the same stator that's in the YZ motocross one. And same thing on the KTM models, the Honda models, all the same. okay, this problem. So you have to figure out a way. Now on the Yamaha, it's relatively easy. It's not totally cheap, but you can buy the WR flywheel and stator, and it all plugs right in, and then you're making way more wattage. I don't know all the fancy electrical terms of how much more you're making or whatever, but you're making enough to power that. So that's his only problem.
Yeah, because the battery is just being maintained, but it's only got like, it's milliamps that it's charging it. It's very little.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's not sending a bunch, so it can't handle any more.
Yeah.
So, all right, so our next one is from WW. Like that. Hi Jay, I had another question. I was so lazy. You're gonna love this one, Donnie.
Okay.
To drain the gas out of my 24YZ 450. Yeah, so I just put the bike upside down on the ground.
What is it? It's like old BMX days. Remember when you park your BMX bike upside down?
And let all the gas out like that. Then I go to start it. Well, first of all, why would you start it after you drain the gas out? Okay. Anyway, and maybe that was later. I let it run a couple minutes to completely empty the gas. So I guess he had it upside down, got the gas out, but he still was able to start it, right? It had enough. And the bike was smoking from oil dripping on top of the bike onto the engine. Is this okay?
Wait, did he start it while it was upside down?
No. When he got it back up.
Okay.
It wouldn't probably start because it has a tip over sensor.
Yeah.
Do I need to do anything? Yeah, you need to stop draining your gas that way and stop being lazy. He already knew the answer. We also have that cool tool, that suction. You turned me on to that one with the battery. That thing works so good. It gets out 90% of the gas. Yeah. Just put that in the tank and you can suck out all the gas. It works really good. And if you need help on it, you can send me an email. I'll get you a link to it on Amazon. It was like $15-20. It was cheap.
It was cheap.
And it takes
I think I got mine for 12 or something.
Yeah, it might have been that cheap. It was like C or D batteries.
Yeah.
And it wasn't very many. And we've used it. I don't know if I've ever changed the batteries.
It looks super cheap, but I've used it a bunch.
I used it the other day. And mine's been going a while and on the same set of batteries. So so anyway, what happened, you flip it over, then oil gets past the valves in there, and that's part of what's smoking too. So the bikes don't like to go upside down. A quick flip for a freestyle guy, that's fine. But you can't hold them upside down not running. When they do a flip, so I'm gonna tell him if he does flips, that's fine, but not.
Well, because the rotational force keeps that switch in the right direction.
Yeah, it's going, so you're fine.
Yeah.
So don't be lazy, unfortunately. And a Yamaha tank's not that hard to take off. Tell you the truth. Yeah, they're not that.
I
bad.
just always take my tank off. I'm gonna drain it.
Right.
It's just a few minutes.
Well,
plus, it gives you a time to look under everything.
I don't think he'll do it again. I think we're
learned
good.
his lesson.
I think we're good. Yeah. All right. What do you got next?
James S. It says riding two-stroke fixed flood area behind the house. Check out the gate at the fence.
Yeah, I put a video in here. You can have it playing right now. I think he's in Texas. I'm not positive what area it is. And he sent me his cool. He has a couple cool two-stroke builds he's done.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But out of his backyard. So what track do you go to? They don't go to. They just ride free ride, whatever, close to the house, right? Well, he's got like a water drainage area. So I got a cool video. You can kind of see he's got this little area that they can cruise around, and then in his backyard, he's got a fence, right? Well, he just put in a gate right at his backyard. He can pop right into this place.
Right out of the gate.
Yeah, and you're gonna see him go right back in, back into the house, right back in. So if anybody was to be upset or anything, it's like the Bat Cave or whatever. Right. He's gone. No one's gonna catch him. So I thought it was really cool.
I like that you're willing to do home improvements to make it easier to ride.
Right. Yeah, I'm guessing that gate wasn't there when he moved in.
Right.
The Moto guy had to build a gate.
So when he sells the house, what's that gate for? It's like, that's the riding gate.
Right. I don't think he's selling the house. He's like, this is perfect.
Right.
We got a place to ride. All right, go for our next one. What do we got?
All right, Kyle. He says, mint bike, looked in the cylinder. I recently picked up a 93 CR 500 with a recently installed top end, less than a couple of hours, it says. I decided to take a look at the piston via the intake and noticed some good scarring that shouldn't be there.
Okay, yes, and he was correct. At first I was like, he sent these photos. Now, so that tells you if you have a two-stroke, you can pull the pipe off or the reed cage and look in that way. You can pull off the pipe and look right in. And with their digital cameras now, you can get in there pretty good with your phone and take some pictures and see pretty good. I got some good photos in the folder there, Donnie. The bike is a mint looking. I don't think I can't find the picture of the bike, but it's totally mint looking 93. It looks nice. So he's going to rebuild this thing now. And so when you see in there, there's some pieces in there, and those pieces are either pieces of the bottom end, washers. I think the washers are coming up, what's making that scarring in the cylinder, or it got some dirt, but it doesn't look, it looks more metalish and on the cylinder marks.
Yeah, because dirt does scratch, but it's more fine usually.
And he thinks it's never, the bottom end's never been done. And this is a 93.
Wow.
Okay. So 30, 5-year-old bike, 30 what's it? Oh, 30 for 3 years. 33 years. So
33% better.
33 years. This bottom end is going to need to be done. So I gave him some tips on getting that done, getting a new rod kit. Vintco and I think and Pro-X both have rod kits for those. You could do those and rebuild that thing. Yeah, pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
So rebuild that thing, and because it sounds like he got a good deal on it. I say you fix that thing up, And
it's funny. I think we talked about this before. I feel like the KX is more popular than the CR. Is that correct?
I think it's happened that way, yes. And I think because it was such a big desert bike, I'm definitely seeing way more of them used and on projects and stuff. I don't see nearly as many of the Hondas, and I don't know why.
And you just finished one. I think we'll talk about when that comes out later.
Yeah, I'll bring that one in. That bike came out amazing for Dallas. We did that, and that was a 95 CR500, amazing bike. So I'll bring the bike in and put it behind you. We got some cool CDs to go over here. We're going to talk about later. Okay, now I got this is actually a really good question, this next one, and this is from Anthony P. And this is a question that is probably one of the best questions I've got recently, and something I've pondered. I have the luxury of riding multiple bikes, so this question gets a little bit moot for myself. So I'm able to, and Donnie's been hurt over the last 5 years, so he hasn't put a lot of time on any one bike either. So he has this question. He says, "Hey Jay, I'm trying to figure out how to get the most money with buying and selling bikes on a schedule because I race," and he puts on 120 to 140 hours on his bikes a year. What does it make sense to sell and get a new one? I have a 25 gas EX350. The top end kits are like $450 without touching the head. With the resale, the GG bikes, the cost of top end, when does it make sense? Also, what bikes are the best to buy for resale, cheaper to maintain for a 4-stroke? ? Is it worth it to go to the 450 and give up some 350 benefits for the cost efficiency? Thanks so much for your help. And he says his last bike he got in October and it's already got 70 hours on it. So he's in a tough spot here. And so what we're talking about, I got a couple thoughts right away. The first one is, I don't think there's a big difference in resale of a 350 versus a 450. I would agree. Yeah, so you're fine there. That's my first thing. So I'd ride
because the 350 is a very popular bike.
Very popular. So I would ride whichever one you feel better with. Okay, that's first. As far as I don't think there's a difference on 350, 450. I do think you can find a little bit better deals on 450s used. So I have seen that lately. There's a lot of 450s for sale, XCFs and SXFs. So you can find, now for whatever it's worth, also the market, I mentioned this a bunch of times, the market in Southern California is way better to buy bikes right now. It's terrible. If you're trying to sell a bike, you can't get hardly anything for it. So it's really a buyer's market right now on dirt bikes in SoCal. Bikes are $2,000 to $3,000 less than places back east that have very little bikes for sale. So that's my first thought. And then the next one, if you have a bunch of hours on the bike, if you put a piston in it and you're going to spend, let's say you're going to spend $400 to $600, whether you got somebody to help you or whatever. Unfortunately, it doesn't raise the value of the bike.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. You go to buy a bike and you go, okay, I'm going to buy something very specific. It doesn't matter. Yeah. And they tell you, Jay, I just put a piston in.
Right.
Do you first, I'm sorry to say this, believe them?
Yeah.
And second of all, does it matter?
Well, because I'd probably be happier if they didn't. I'd rather not be touched if not. So in his case, first of all, I feel like there's two paths he can take. And this is where you're going to have to do the math on what works for you in your area, in your market. So whatever bike you have, say it's a Sierra 450R or an X or RX, whatever you have, you need to keep an eye on what the used market goes for, right? Keep an eye on what you're seeing people sell them for, if they're selling them, all that kind of stuff. So that's the first thing I'd recommend, is keep an eye on that as you have the bike. Now, I will say that the Austrian bikes do cost more initially. Then they drop very similar to the Japanese bikes. So they cost a lot more. So you're going to lose a little bit more typically with the Austrian bikes, I feel like, especially lately. So with that drop, but I feel like the engine durability is way better in those bikes. They can go way longer on top ends and cranks and everything. So there's two thoughts here. Is with a 350, I would have no problem with a guy doing 150 to 200 hours on a bike, and then you sell it, and you sell it for $3,500 to $4,000. You're like, that's really cheap. But then you don't have to spend $2 or $3,000 on the engine to do it right. So you sell it really cheap. Okay. Now the other option is what I would like to do is I don't keep bikes past 50 to 70 hours, right? Your bikes don't ever go past 40 to 50, right?
Never.
50. Now you're riding motocross and then you're riding between 3 and 4 bikes. So the bikes never get a ton of hours. I do put over 100 hours a year on bikes, but it's a multiple of bikes, right?
Right. That's the thing.
When this amount of time he's putting on bikes, it's really hard. This is a guy that could potentially at 7, 8 months, 9 months have to sell a bike.
Yeah.
That's what he needs to do. So you're going to have to do the math and say, hey, the bike's 7 months old. I can sell it right now with 50 hours, and I'm going to get $7,000, $8,000, whatever it is that you can actually still get for it. With the market bad right now, that's going to be tough. But let's say then you do the math, it's going to cost me $3,000 more to buy the new bike. When I sell it for 7, I'm going to put $3,000 into it, and at $10,000, I'm out the door. So it cost me $3,000 to have the bike for this long. So those are the math you're going to have to do on those bikes. And the only way to do it is in your own individual areas to be seeing what your bike gets worth. And that's where you're going to have to keep doing that math. And so I don't have the exact best answer for you because it's going to be fluid as the times change, as the conditions of the market change. So that's why it's important to get the bike. And now as I back up here, this is a guy that would benefit heavily from getting a 5 to 10 hour bike used, a really low hour bike, looking for that unicorn to buy that low bike that he gets for $2 or $3,000 less because it's got a few hours on it. Buy that bike, use it till it gets 60, 70 hours and sell it. And he doesn't lose nearly as much.
He's in such a unique position because there's, we have the low percentage guys, him, or the guys that never ride him, which are low percentage guys. And then everybody else in the middle, right? That's putting 50 hours a year and not 70 hours in 7 months.
Right. So now that brings up the next question is if he was to, and this is, I still think 4-stroke's the best for him, most likely. But if he was to go to a YZ 250 2-stroke, now you're looking at a way cheaper bike initially. In that time, if he's doing 120 hours, you're doing 3 top ends in that time frame, right? He should have already done 2 almost at 70 hours, right? That's a lot. So you got to stay on those, and then a crank. It depends on what level he's riding at, but it sounds like he was a decent rider, and he's riding woods and races and stuff. A crank probably shouldn't be going more than 70, 80 hours. So he's putting in 2 cranks a year and 3 pistons. So it really adds up, right? Where and that this is a tough scenario. So this is where this sport becomes it's not so cheap. Now, what some guys do in these cases I've seen is they have practice bikes, like
right. This is exactly what I was thinking. Is like having 2 bikes.
So you have that YZ 250
hammered bike,
a YZ 250 2-stroke that you leave as your hammer practice bike that you buy for $4 or $5,000
and you keep it for 2 years.
Yeah, and keep that one turned, and then you can have your 350 XCF or whatever he has. It was a gas version, but keep that one nicer and lower hours on it. Right. So it's a tough balance, man. There's no easy answer. It's still, people go, oh, it's expensive. It's still the cheapest by far motorsport that we could think of, right? It's cheaper than go-kart racing.
Oh yeah,
and you can do it way more often. Go-karts are very specific to the track. Most of them only have limited practice days. You can ride a dirt bike all the time. Most people don't have a go-kart track at their house, right? Or many guys have a track or a trail system close. They can ride. Many guys with dirt bikes, in theory, could ride 7 days a week if they wanted, right? You can't ride a go-kart like more than a couple days a week, max. Okay, and these things are way more expensive to stay on. They need tires every trip or 2.
I had the problem with Supermoto. Supermoto is the same problem. Is like we can only ride so much. And the tires were on a deal. They were like almost $400.
And how long would you get on tires typically, you think?
No, like 2 or 3 practice days.
Okay.
1 race day.
1 race day.
1 race day, the tires are gone. You could stretch it to 2, but look, for a race day is you have 2 practice sections, you have a qualifier, and then you have a main. And you would smoke the rear. You could go a lot longer on a front tire, but the rears are gone.
Right. Well, it's a great question from Anthony, and I'd love to get other people's thoughts on this. If you write me, give me your thoughts. But the reality is you're going to need more. It is expensive, let's say, right? But comparatively speaking, it's cheaper than any other form of motorsports that you can do regularly. So you just have to bite the bullet. Work more overtime or something, Donnie?
More overtime.
There you go. So unfortunately, there's not an easy answer. I wish I had a real easy answer for him to go sell it at 70 hours. He probably needs to sell that thing right now to get any
100%. He cannot go past that.
And also, it doesn't hurt to throw up a bike for sale, to fish, see what calls you get, and then if you're not getting the calls, then you go, hey, I got to keep it.
I mean, here's the thing. First of all, 25 years ago, there were no hour meters on bikes.
Right.
Okay, so we had no idea what we were buying.
Right.
At that point.
You had to trust the dude.
You had to trust the dude. But honestly, would you buy a bike that isn't some special unicorn that has 170 hours on it?
No, I don't. Because also I have the luxury of being in Southern California.
No, but most people would. Some just total weekend warrior riding in the fields will buy one.
This bike, I bought this bike with like 10 hours on it.
Yeah.
This summer
Total
I bought
unicorn.
it in the heat of summer. No bikes were moving, and I got a good deal on it.
Yeah.
Really cheap. I mean, it was like great deal. So anyway, there is deals out there. Move to California if you want.
Move to California.
Or at least come visit to buy a bike.
Right.
And then split. All right. So we're moving on from tech questions, and we're on. We have a couple new videos. Donnie helped me with a Works Connection whole Pro Launch whole shot device.
That's
video.
correct.
Cool video. So if you want to know tips on installing that, you should go to our channel and check out the Pro Launch one. Also, we have a cool video that just came out just last week that Spencer and I talked about the bike prep after you ride. So we talked a little bit about the washing, but we have washing videos. This is kind of going everything over when you get in from washing, what to look for, lube, all that kind of stuff. We use some great products like these on there, all right, so project bikes. The bike I just dropped off at Twisted is the Gas 250 dual injector. So we're trying to get that one done. We're going to get that one done and shot with Motocross Action soon. And then the Kicks 500, I am moving. So the frame is on the bench. Have you seen those photos?
I did, yeah.
Frame is on the bench, and Spencer laughed at me. All I did was get the frame and the triple clamps, bearings in the triple clamp, and sitting on the bench. So what do you think this does?
Motivates you to keep working on it.
Yes. So now I see it every day I go through the shop.
Yeah, I need to do one thing on this right now.
Yep. So, and I'm trying to do one thing a day. They say 1% better.
That's right.
But in 100 days, you'd be 100% better. No one's getting 100% better. But I like this logic. So when I see the bike now on the bench, and so one of the biggest things I did is I worked on a list. It's 40 lines, I bet, of little OEM parts I need and all that. So I just got all that stuff ordered up. So I got the OEM parts coming, and then a bunch of my Pro X parts for the engine, main bearings, and the crank's done from TMR. The cylinder and header are done. Cases are pretty much ready. And then I took some parts over to Brad. We inspected all the transmission stuff. It's all good.
I really liked the steering stem stuff because when we did mine, I don't want to say overwhelmed, but I felt like it was much more difficult getting the modern front end put on than it actually is.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that. So we're putting on a modern like current Kicks 250, 450 front end, and we were able to put those triple clamps on with a couple little mods, and we had some. I posted a few videos talking.
Yeah, no,
about that.
It's really good what you did. So that's been a fun build, and then we just shot the CR450X. I got a couple photos in here from the photo shoot with Simon. Yep.
And we're going to talk about it. And when we were at the photo shoot, what's his name? Kiefer asked Simon, who is GOATs of photos.
I saw that video.
Oh, he did? He put it up? Okay.
Yeah.
And so now I'm calling Simon the GOAT of photo. So
he for sure is.
Yeah, and I know this because Donnie knows how to shoot photos, okay? But for some reason, Simon's photos do look a little better.
Listen,
28%.
I'm not even close to that guy.
So
I don't even call myself, when I'm around him, I won't say I'm a photographer.
It's like me and you riding dirt bikes with, a pro or whatever.
Riding with Kenny.
Right. It's like you have the same bike. Like,
yeah,
what's the problem?
It doesn't matter.
Because that's why I tell Donnie, I go, you have the same camera. Like, what's the problem? So we're going to work. Donnie but he has said he's going to start to figure out how he can get a little better.
Yeah, I'll
1%.
get better.
1%.
1% better.
This would be good over the next couple weeks to study and maybe shoot some stuff in the front room.
You sure?
Yeah, you could practice.
I got to do it outside though.
Right. But you could just start working on settings. And
right.
you could send Riley out to shoot something and then come back and see what it looks like and go back and forth.
We could do that.
All right. So I'm
committed to getting better for you.
Product spotlight time. We got a This is a flex diamond hone deal for cylinders. This is Wiseco sells these, and I don't know where they got them sourced from. They've had them for years. And the thing is, if you're doing 2-strokes, like especially, well, they work great on 4-stroke cylinders too. So the thing is, it's bore size specific. But if you got like a 250 one, it fits most 300s. Like it'll go from 250 size up to like a 300. So it fits a lot. This is like for a 125, like 54 millimeter bore right there. Just a quick jot through there. We use a lube like this, something like this multi-purpose lube. Just some of that on there. I'd say 1, 2, 1, 2, out, done.
There's nothing more satisfying than the crosshatch you get out of that.
Yeah. And then you contact clean it off.
Yeah.
And you're ready to install. So, and I'll put a little of that
Looks like magic.
Yeah, lube on the cylinder, and we're good. So that's our product spotlight. Photos. I put a bunch of photos in the drive for you, Donnie, so you can bring those photos up.
Okay.
I forgot this last show, so anyway, we have some good photos from what we've been doing. And we were at the Blue Crew event. I got to go ride that on a Saturday or two ago.
Yeah.
And a bunch of cool people out there at Glen Helen, and it was all Yamahas. So it was kind of a cool, fun event. So that was a really fun thing to go see.
Did you bring your earplugs?
Did I bring them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did have them on.
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I thought.
Yeah. Recoil grips. I have a picture of those new. I should have brought a pair and left them for
I
you to
need
try.
an orange pair.
Right. Luckily, you're not riding for a little bit.
It doesn't matter if I'm riding or not.
I know.
I still like my Christmas gifts here.
Right. And go put it on the bike, and you could feel it.
Pretend.
You could go like this, like a kid.
I did this week. I did get up and sit on my bike.
Oh, no way.
I did, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I couldn't bend this leg to get up, but I got up and sat on it. I go, well, I have to feel at least sitting on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So,
and I might have a job for you.
Yeah, so the recoil grips are new from ODI, and they just came out with those Nomad ones, which are good. And I think these things they're a full waffle, but they're actually a little bit smaller diameter than the Nomad ones. So I got a great feel, so I'm really liking them. And then CR250R crank. We're talking about that CR500 crank. They have a 10 can. We did a Pro X rod rebuild. That's from Japan. Those rod kits are really good. So you can see right here, that's what we used to do those. And then Spencer was riding the Beta, which we're going to take on this trail trip. He was out at this cool arch on there. So you can see that cool arch here in this photo. And then we still have 2 CR250s for sale. We've got the McGrath looking one and the black one. So if you hit us up, you can email me directly. And no, it's more than a current YZ250. So it's a lot. So you got to be serious, okay? And then 2-stroke race was at Glen Helen a while back. That was really fun.
Yeah.
I got a picture of Phil Nicoletti there. He was all thumbs. So thumbs up. He did go the other way, but then I asked him if he could do a thumbs instead. Keep it PG. So
he gave you he waved at you one finger at a time.
Oh, on the way here, I read that Prado. I got to read this.
I read it too.
Did you read it? Let's read this. It's kind of funny the way they worded this.
Yeah.
So Prado got in trouble. Webb was really mad at him after the race.
They seem to not like each other.
Right. And he said, because he called him a fast Vince Freeze.
Fast Vince Freeze.
He says, 450 championship race direction reviewed an incident involving rider 26, Prado, and rider number 1, Webb, in section 8 after the finish line. After review, it was determined that riders 26, Prado, violated the code of conduct by using an obscene hand gesture during the competition. So was it actually during or after the race?
It was after. They had kind of pulled up on the thing together. Okay. Didn't you see they had like a little... I saw somebody else's video had a little like heated exchange.
Rider number 26, Prado, was assessed a 1 rider license point and a fine.
What does a point do?
I don't know.
Is it like on our license?
Yeah, but it's supposed to, like, after you built up a certain number of them, then you get a bad gate pick or this or that.
I see. So he waved at Webb one finger at a time.
Yes.
He did what happens to me on the road like daily.
Once a day.
Once a day.
Once a day you get called number 1.
I do get called number 1 a lot.
Yeah. Ultimate Rider contest. Did I talk to you about that?
No.
So Ultimate Rider was.
I saw the pictures.
Samuel's place. I went out there and did tires with these guys, and what this is coming as a reality show. It's kind of funny. They had this Ultimate Rider competition, and I think they had like 16 riders. Maybe there was like 70 something that showed up, and they all battled whatever to get to 16.
Young kids or all ages?
Yeah, I think you probably had to be 18, but they 18. Were young up to 30 or whatever.
Okay.
Because I think they were looking for a rider they could use in multiple different places. It could be an off-road rider. It could be a motocross. It could be
a what?
Girl. They had 2 girls there to a spot on Samuel's team, SLR Honda.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So they picked a rider, and they
did pick somebody.
Yeah. Wow. And I went out there for the tire day, which was at the very end of the competition, and it's going to be a whole reality show that they're trying to get all done. These guys, Donnie, you're going to love all this. I can't remember how many gigs of hard drives he told me. The guys that were filming this, they had a GoPro on each person every day.
Oh my god.
16 people, okay?
No, dude.
GoPro on each one. And then they had another 7 or 8 cameras going each day. Okay, so the GoPros from each person, and then the 7 or 8 cameras they were doing every day for it was a couple weeks. This thing was going on.
Oh my gosh,
couple weeks. So the amount of footage is
just terabytes
mind-blowing.
of footage.
So they're trying to put this whole thing together. It'd be rad if it was like on a Netflix or something. But I think it's going to be probably just online, like on YouTube.
Streaming deal.
It's going to be some type of deal. So we'll see.
What was the TV show?
Oh, there was one a long time ago.
David Villeman was on it.
On the team. I never saw it, but I remember
I saw some of it.
Okay.
It was in Texas.
Yep, it was in Texas with that team.
It was that team.
That
I got to remember.
Home improvement guy, home guy of some sort.
Yeah.
We're not good on this stuff.
No, I mean, it's not on. We feel like some of that stuff is not Moto.
Okay, then I threw in the Ventco crank. Ventco made a new crankshaft that doesn't have, for the CR250s, that doesn't have the tin cans on it.
Yeah.
If I had known that, we could have even checked that thing out and used that or done that one with a Pro X rod.
Oh, right.
So that one's cool. Okay, we are getting close to wrapping up, Donnie.
Yeah.
I wanted to make it a kind of a shorter show.
I needed to be shorter for 2 reasons: here and when I'm editing.
When you're editing, okay, let's move some stuff around here. So I didn't want to decide on a CD. So what I decided was I was going to I grabbed 10 CDs real quick.
Okay, that first one is pretty much basically probably my favorite CD.
Okay, and Sammy Hagar's album. I think every one of these CDs has already been a feature on the show.
We never did Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, we did. Reason to Live. Yeah, that's the 1987 album. Now this one is Creatures of the Night.
Yeah.
But when I got stolen, I don't have the right cover for it because it was makeup cover.
Yeah.
And then when they reissued it didn't have makeup. Van Halen, 5150.
Oh yeah.
Probably the best Van Halen album. Dokken, Back for the Attack.
Great.
Okay, so we're gonna go over these. Queensryche, Empire.
All I want you to do for each one of these is just tell me your favorite song from each one.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's hard, dude.
I don't care. There's a lot of hard things in life.
Okay. Oh man, I was gonna rank them, but I don't know if I could even rank them.
You can't rank them, dude. That's impossible.
Okay.
I just want your favorite song from each one.
So we're gonna do Queensryche, Empire, and people are gonna go, well, Mindcrime is a better album. Yes, it's a better album because it's a concept album. It's kind of cool, but this one is much more, because I was like, if you only could have one album from each of these bands, which one would it be? And I started with Kiss. I have, there's 25 albums or whatever.
25 albums.
So this is the one. Is Creatures of the Night, as I Still Love You, and Creatures of the Night.
Creatures of the Night is just great.
But I'm going to say I Still Love You. The ballad that he does. So I'm going to say Creatures of the Night was I Still Love You.
A side note: how do you rank Beth?
No, it's terrible.
You don't like it?
No. I think it's silly.
You think it's a silly song?
Silly song.
That's why I'd asked. Right. I know you do.
Not even in the top 20.
Yeah. Okay.
Not even in the top 20. But I didn't like Peter Criss that much. He's not.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not there. Okay. So let's go to Queensryche. Best I Can, Thin Line, Jet City Woman. Jet City Woman's been played too much, but I would have to say Empire.
Okay.
Empire.
Yeah.
And we're building the Empire. And Empire is such a good song. And he has all these quotes about the financial, what we spent. By way of comparison, we spent this many more times on law enforcement than on space exploration than law enforcement. And he was like bagging on it. And this was in 1987, right?
Right.
All right, so let's go Def Leppard, Hysteria. We got Women, Rocket, Animal, Love Bites, Pour Some Sugar on Me, Armageddon It, Gods of War, Shoot Shotgun, Run Riot, Hysteria, Love and Affection, Excitable. I'm going to say Hysteria.
Yeah.
Hysteria.
I love Pour Some Sugar on Me.
And this album, the reason I picked this one, but I do have 2 Def Leppard albums here.
Yeah.
I'll do the other one next. It's the only one I brought 2 of. I was trying to think of albums that have stood the test of, because most of these albums are 40 to 50 years old. Really.
Right.
What's 1980? Is that 50 years?
46 years.
46. So they're 40 to 50 years old. And so 1980.
1980.
Okay. So.
What's your favorite song on that? Back in Black.
Back in Black. Okay, let's go Back in Black. Gosh. So Kurt and I talked about this. Kurt was who owned Ventco. And we talked about this before he passed away. Highway to Hell was before this with Bon Scott.
Yep.
Now, when you go back, and we would always argue who's the better singer, right? And you assume it's Bon Scott. I mean, Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson, because of this success of this. But when you go back, Man, so much of the old
Let
stuff
There Be Rock
is so good. But even some of the obscure stuff, I heard by the Teeth, Skin of the Teeth.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's so many good ones, Sin City, and all these different cool songs. So my opinion is this album and Highway to Hell, you could play those two in their entirety and have a full concert.
Here's the problem with Brian Johnson.
Yeah.
After Back in Black,
they still had some anthems on each one.
I agree.
And Demon Fire's awesome, and you go Thunderstruck, and
okay, I agree.
TNT,
but just compare After Back in Black.
I know.
To before Back in Black.
Know. So it's a tough call. But when you make something like this, it's hard to say. But anyway, so let's pick the best song on there. I mean, yeah, you're probably gonna have to do Back in Black, but Shook Me All Night Long. It's hard because you could play this entire album perfect, right?
Yeah. How many albums can you listen to?
Giving the Dog a Bone.
Giving the Dog a Bone. How many albums that you can listen to say, I'm excited for the next song to come
over and over. And that's why most of these albums are like that.
Right.
That's what it is. So, okay, so we're going to go with, I don't know, Giving the Dog a Bone or
Back in Black.
Back in Black. All right, just to say
or You Shook Me All Night Long.
Or Shoot to Thrill, dude.
Oh, Shoot to Thrill is so good.
Right. That's Nick Wright at Decal Works.
Yeah.
Desmo Nick is his new name.
Yeah.
He changed it legally to Desmo Nick.
Okay.
And he likes Shoot to Thrill. He listens to it before his hockey games to get him amped up.
How it's such an amazing song.
Right, Shoot to Thrill. So I don't know how you could hardly
I wish we could play this music on here so bad.
Right. Okay. So now I'm going to go Doc and Back for the Attack. And this album is really good. 13 songs, got Dream Warriors at the end, and so this is when they were really dysfunctional as a band, all fighting with each other. And this is a band that could have been big or as big as this, but it just didn't play out for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I think didn't have the appeal for whatever reason, but their music is so good. And I'm going to go with Kiss of Death, the first song. It's really good.
That's really good.
And George Lynch's guitar stuff is just amazing. This is the Whitesnake album from 1987. It was just called Whitesnake.
Yep.
I mean, you'd have to go Still the Night, right?
Have to.
Still the Night. The whole album is so good. This is an album you could listen to in its entirety. And that's what all these albums, what I'm doing is, hey, you guys go, if you haven't listened to this stuff, listen to them in their entirety. Next one, we'll go Sammy Hagar's. This is his 1987 album as well.
Yeah.
When the Hammer Falls Down, Hands and Knees, Give to Live. It's a very much Van Halen album. Just like this, he had to do one more solo album on his contract or whatever, right?
Oh, he did.
He did.
Oh.
And Eddie helped him with this. And there was guests from Michael Anthony on here. And it's very much a Van Halen-ish album. So it's similar to this. And I think I like this better than this in some ways. So really good album. Eagles Fly is an incredible song.
It's a good song.
And I'm going to go with Eagles Fly on this one. Okay. Now let's go. I already did Still the Night here, right?
Yeah,
you got to do that. Okay. Now this Rat one, we had this before. And this is what I think for both of us, it's called 81 to 91. And I said, this is the best years of our lives.
Oh, yeah.
Donnie didn't even hesitate, dude.
100%.
Tish doesn't listen to this show, does she?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
All right. So, best years of our lives. It's called 81. And I don't usually like 81 to 91. I don't like best of albums or whatever because
I do.
I just like listening to the original albums.
That's funny. I love best of albums.
Eagles greatest hits is pretty good.
For me, there's a lot of music that I can't listen to the whole album.
Right.
Now, every AC/DC one, I can listen to the whole album. Probably every Rat. I mean, Whitesnake. Like, there's a few, but not all of them.
So this one's got what it is these best songs, right? And then up to 16. There's 19 songs. The last 3 were new songs they made for this album. And it was One Step Away, Heads I Win, Tails You Lose, Nobody Rides for Free. Nobody Rides for Free was on that Point Break soundtrack. Remember that? Really good. And that was a good time in America right there, right?
Yeah, Johnny Utah.
One Step Away or Nobody Rides for Free. They're both so good. I'm gonna say One Step Away. It's just such a good song. So I'm gonna say One Step Away. Now we're down to 5150, right?
Yep.
Probably the best album from Van Halen ever. Way better than David Lee Roth. Not even close. And okay, Good Enough. Why Can't This Be Love? Get Up, Dreams, Summer Nights, Best of Both Worlds, Loves Walks In, 80.
Best of Both. I love Best of Both Worlds, man.
5150 and an Inside. So I'm going to have to say it's either Dreams or Why Can't This Be Love? And I'm going to say Why Can't This Be Love? Why Can't This Be Love right there. So, any of these albums, we got Van Halen, 5150, Rat 8190.
I think we need to put this in the show description. And, anybody that's listening to this show, if they have kids or whatever, they need to have an assignment to give their kids these albums to listen to them throughout so they know what real rock music sounds like.
Yes. And I watched a whole special that somebody just did on why rock is dead in America. People go, you're just brainwashed into, there's sheeple who just want to listen to, and there's very few bands left. You've noticed this? Even in the pop music world, there's only one artist, Taylor Swift or whoever it is, right? Justin Bieber. These
Think about
artists,
our society.
Yeah, it's become this way.
We're selfish.
And they also make way less money now.
Right.
And so so the artists make less money, so they don't want to split it between bandmates. You can just pay someone to make a beat, drop a beat.
Yeah.
So this is real music, good music you can listen to, and you're good. Oh, I didn't mention the favorite song from the other Def Leppard album. Hold on. High and Dry. Right?
High and Dry.
High and Dry. Let It Go. Another hit and run. High and Dry. Bringing on the Heartbreak. Switch. 625. Which those songs go together.
Yeah.
You Got Me Running. Lady Strange. On Through the Night. Mirror, Mirror. No, No, No. And I'm going to say Bringing on the Heartbreak because it's that Switch 625, the musical, the instrumental between the whole that leads right from it and goes together. That's it. So I don't know what we'll name, but these are the top 10.
How do you feel about older rock? Bachman Turner Overdrive and Peter Frampton.
Some I like. I like Bob Seger.
Oh, I like Seger.
Yeah.
What about Queen?
Not so much.
Not a Queen fan.
I think I get weirded out by the.
Yeah, there's a problem with that.
Okay.
What about the biggest rock band considered rock band of all time? Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin. I love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
But it's not. What's funny about Zeppelin to me, because I didn't grow up, these albums I could listen to in their entirety throughout. Most Led Zeppelin albums, I like 3 or 4 songs on the album.
Okay. This was my point about having a best of.
Right. But you should be good enough to make good albums that are good throughout that you're just hooked on.
I have a really, people are probably going to write in about this or whatever.
Yeah.
I have a really, probably a mediocre, unpopular opinion that I don't think the Beatles are all that great.
No, we've talked about that.
Yeah. I think that they
right time, right place.
I think in the 60s they were great.
Well, you just got over, Elvis Mania, right?
Yeah.
And then you can bring in now a band full of 4 good-looking guys from the UK, so it gives something different, right? And they can.
I just feel like Elvis's music holds up better than theirs.
If you were, yes, I'd say as a whole, but I will say they have a few more, just really good. Artistic songs that
Yesterday and Let It Be and those songs, that's fine,
right?
But I'm an Elvis fan, though,
right? Right.
I'm sorry, Beatles
I can't argue with you. If I was to say who's better overall 50 years later, I'd say Elvis, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But the only thing that cheapened Elvis was that he had to do so much cheesy stuff, like he sold out, so to speak, where the Beatles stuck to and were able to do. Well, I'm not sure.
I don't want to get into it, but he didn't.
No, I know his manager
jammed that down him, and he didn't want to do it.
He had to do all these silly movies, and
he got upset with that stuff.
A lot of but he got upset all the way to the bank too, right? He's making bank. And
I guess those movies that he made they were pennies to make, and they said that they knew they were going to make, like, I don't know the number, but it was like they knew each movie was going to make at that time 10 million, which was unheard of.
Right.
They would just know that it was going to make money.
And he's going to Hawaii, and he's with different leading ladies, which the stories of those are pretty crazy. Yeah. So he's having a great time and doing all these movies, and so I think he was living his best life. And
he probably was living a life for sure.
So that's the only thing that I think kind of cheapens Elvis. And then when he got older and had to do the leisure suit Elvis in Vegas, it did get cheapened a bit. Where the Beatles never got there because they broke up before.
I'm sorry,
they didn't last.
Yoko Ono cheapened that whole band out
and broke them up.
Yeah.
Well. So much for our short show. We went a little longer.
It's all right.
All right. We do have a cool song to lead you out with. I sent you an email on that on the song.
Yeah.
Let's use the one from that Super Mini that broke.
Yeah.
We went out and shot it, and then it didn't make it. So we have a cool song.
I did the music video for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can just paste it in right here. Yeah. So remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and then. We'll leave you out with this song, cool song video. This was the story of this song. You have to listen to it. Is at first I got the bike for Matt got the bike for his kid, and it looked pretty. They told him it was fresh, man. This
is what I just said earlier. It's just been rebuilt.
So we put a new piston in it, got it all running good, get out to ride it at the track, and it made it like a half a lap.
Yeah, it blew up right away.
And it was the crank. So luckily it didn't wipe out the cylinder, so we were able to get it rebuilt really quickly.
You had it rebuilt in like 2 days or something.
Got a new Pro X rod kit.
Yeah.
Put it in, and then Andrew Langston in Southern California rebuilt the crank for us, so we were able to get it going. So enjoy that song, and remember, we'll see you guys next time on the track or trail. See ya.
See ya.
Dirt Bike TV. Two strokes are awesome until they're not. We rolled up with a super mini, looking mean and clean. X-race a deal, yeah, it felt like a dream. Top end only, trying to stay cheap. 5 minutes later, yeah, the motor went to sleep. They said 15 hours, man, what a line. Dirt bike truth gets buried in the grime. If you buy a race two-stroke, hear me loud and clear. Plan on tearing it down, rebuild it right, no fear. Hands on the wrenches, hard on the throttle, no more shortcuts. We go full model from the stand to the start. We're lighting up the dark. We're breaking on two strokes, riding red, living loud, little river screaming like a rock show. In a crowd from 65 to 85 to the super mini high. Carry that quarter speed to watch the kids just fly. Riding rough, ignite, clutching through the berms under Southern Cali night. Small bore thunder, let it sing. Super mini riot, do your thing. Fresh Wasico, off top, feeling tight. Pro X parts, yeah, we build it right. Red clues, toe drive, grabbing strong. Race tech, set it up so the kid belongs. V4 cage breathing, FMF, shorty bark. Whole shot device, even if we don't get started. ODI bars, ARC levers, full back. Frame guard stuff like a truck bed rack. 19 front, 16 rear, bigger wheel stance. 42 up front, make it easy to dance. Two-stroke school, yeah, builds that skill. On the gas, on the clutch, pure will. Before the 1-2-5, before the 2-5-0. This is where you learn to be the best. We're breaking on two strokes, riding red, living loud, little ripper screaming like a rock show. In a crowd from 65 to 85 to the super mini high. Carry that corner speed, watch the kids just fly. Yeah, we rough, ignite, clutching through the berms under Southern Cali night. Small bore thunder, let it sing. Super mini riot, do your thing. Don't buy a racer bike if you don't wanna pay. Strip it down, build it up, do it the right way. Run that good fuel, C12 of gas. Keep it tuned up, make the good times last. And when they pass you on the track, yeah, it stings. But that's the sound of champion wings. We're breaking on two strokes, riding red, living loud, little river screaming like a rock show. In a crowd from 65 to 85 to the super mini high. Carry that corner speed, watch the kids just fly. Riding red, we're breaking out, clutching through the berms under Southern Cali night. Small bore thunder, let it sing. Super mini riot, do your thing. Like, comment, subscribe. Dirt Bike.